Welcome to the Thought Snob Podcast. I'm Paula Swope. Let's get snobby. Today's episode is about your relationship with money and how that relationship influences the amount of money that you have. I've talked about manifesting money a lot on this podcast. I've talked about it on social media, and I've written about it in my book, Thought Snob, The Modern Spiritual Playbook for a Better Life. I'll continue talking about it because whether people like it or not, money matters. I mean, you can't do much in this world without it. And don't tell yourself you don't care about having money, because life will throw you some curveballs, and sometimes money is the only thing that will fix those situations. I've been without money and I've had money, and I'll take having money every single time. Being broke absolutely sucks. Now, I don't want to make you think that I'm confusing the amount of money someone has with their character. Those are two completely different things. Money doesn't tell you who a person is. What they do with it tells you who they are. Money is a tool. A hammer can build a house or destroy a window. The hammer isn't good or bad. The person uses it determines the outcome. And money works the same way. Now, what motivated me to talk about this was a recent conversation I had with a 20-year-old. And we were discussing relationships, and I was encouraging this person not to rush into marriage. And one of my arguments was financial stability. And they're like, well, I'm not materialistic, And I hear that a lot. But let me tell you something. Having money and being materialistic are not the same thing. You can have plenty of money and still be non-materialistic. And you can have very little money while being completely obsessed with material things. They're not the same. But I do think you need to be aware of how important financial resources are to your quality of life. I mean, money affects where you live. It affects your stress levels. It affects your healthcare options, the quality of education you receive. And oh my God, I believe in education strongly, and it takes money to get a good education. It just affects your opportunities, your freedom, everything. In fact, research consistently shows that people with greater financial resources have better health outcomes and longer life expectancies because they have increased access to health care, higher quality health care, healthier environments, and lower levels of chronic stress. Now, is that fair? Probably not, but it is reality. And ignoring the importance of money doesn't make money less important. And here's something else that I've noticed. Many of the same people who claim they don't care about money don't hesitate to ask for financial help when they need it. It's like they feel entitled to other people's money because they don't have it, but these other people do. So the people with the money should just give it to them, okay? Money matters. It doesn't need to become your identity ever, but pretending it doesn't matter isn't helping anybody. And we can talk about the real issue here. The issue is your relationship with money. And hey, this may not apply to you at all, but if it does, I just want you to hear me out. I'm here to help you. I'm not here to criticize, condemn, or judge you. I used to have an unhealthy relationship with money too. No judgment's coming from here. Now, whether you are a spiritual person or not, your beliefs influence your behavior. Psychologists have known for decades that our beliefs shape our decisions, habits, and actions, and those actions create results, aka conscious creation. Or if you're not living mindfully, subconscious creation. You're creating a bunch of stuff you don't even want. So when I talk about your relationship with money, I'm talking about the beliefs you carry around every single day. Have you ever thought about that? If not, I want you to think about it right now. What do you believe about money? What do you believe about wealthy people? What do you believe about your ability to earn, keep, and grow money? Do you feel deserving of wealth? There are no right or wrong answers here, but let me tell you, those beliefs you have matter. Here's an example. If I ask you whether you wanted more money, most people would say yes. I mean, surveys have shown that time and time again. But if I ask you to describe wealthy people, what words come to mind? Greedy, selfish, corrupt, out of touch, pretentious. If those words come to mind, here's where the problem lies. You become blocked from money. If you consciously want more money, but subconsciously associate wealth with negative traits, you've created an internal conflict. Part of you wants wealth. Part of you wants to avoid becoming the kind of person you believe wealthy people are. Research in psychology suggests that people often avoid outcomes that conflict with their identity and values. So if wealth represents something negative to you, you may unconsciously resist opportunities that could improve your financial situation. I mean, that's worth thinking about. Now, are there wealthy people who are selfish? Oh, God, yes, absolutely. But there are also poor people who are selfish. There are wealthy people who are generous, and there are poor people who are generous. Money doesn't create character. Money amplifies character. Now, let's take a closer look at your relationship with money. Now, I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and I want you to notice the very first thoughts that come to mind. And do not judge those thoughts. Be the observer, the witnesser of your thoughts, okay? When you hear the word millionaire, what do you think? Are you satisfied with your financial situation? If not, what would it take for you to be satisfied? When you see someone displaying obvious signs of wealth, how do you feel? Do you feel inspired? Motivated? Jealous? Resentful? Indifferent? Do you spend time around people who are financially successful? The people you spend most of your time with, what do your conversations revolve around? Do you and your friends constantly complain about money? Do you get angry when you can't afford something that you want? Do you find yourself resenting people who have more than you? Again, there are no right or wrong answers here. Your answers simply reveal your beliefs. I mean, this is an exercise in mindful awareness, and it's important to bring these beliefs into your awareness because your beliefs influence your behavior. That's why awareness is so important. Now, for years, I had my own set of money issues. I mean, I resented people who had money because, I was a big victim. It was everyone else's fault because I didn't have any money. I mean, it wasn't my fault, of course, But I grew the fuck up and took responsibility for myself. But there was a time when I actually resented paying my bills. I mean, I would get so pissed off. Every time a bill arrived, I just felt so frustrated and like deflated. I felt like I was working so hard just to hand my money over to someone else. And then I changed my perspective because that one sure as hell wasn't getting me anywhere. So instead of focusing on what I was losing, I started focusing on what I was receiving. And I made a conscious shift that eventually rewired my default comfort zone behavior that was just keeping me stuck and broke. It wasn't doing me any good. So I became grateful for being able to pay my utility bill. What would my life look like without electricity or running water or without internet access or heating and air conditioning? I mean, those services improve my quality of life. Paying the bill is simply part of the exchange. I mean, I expect to get paid when I work. Why would I expect the electric company to work for free? I mean, watch that double standard shit. It'll get you into trouble. But that shift changed my relationship with money. And once I changed my relationship with money, I stopped feeling resistance every time I spent it. And if you'll notice, when you're worried about money, what happens? you can't get your hands on it to save your life. I have lived this. But when you've got money and you're not worried about it, the money flows. But when you don't have it and you're worried sick over it, it just stops. Okay? Okay, so back to what I was saying. So the same concept applies to inflation. And right now that's a big topic. I mean, people are really complaining about gas prices. And believe me, I understand. I get it. Higher fuel costs affect everything. But here's a question. If you had more than enough money, would filling up your gas tank upset you? Probably not. So instead of spending all of your energy focusing on the problem, what if you focused on increasing your capacity to create solutions? What if, while standing at the gas pump, you simply felt grateful that you had the money to fill your tank? That small shift changes your experience and your vibe. Gratitude carries a frequency that matches abundance. Now, whether you believe in that or not, it's true. It's true. And it's at work in your life every single second of every single day. The more attention you give a problem, the larger it gets, the more it gets in your face. And sometimes the solution begins with changing how you view the alleged problem. Maybe the problem is actually your thoughts about something. And, as long as you're a healthy person, you have control over what you allow your mind to do. Now, here's another piece of this. People tend to personify money. Money isn't a person. It doesn't have a personality. It doesn't have intentions. It isn't evil. It isn't virtuous. It's a resource, an exchange of value. Money is energy. It's a tool, and you're the one who decides how that tool gets used. So before we wrap up this episode, I want to leave you with an exercise. Get out a piece of paper and write the word money at the top. Then set a timer for 3 minutes. And for 3 minutes, write down every thought that comes to mind. Don't edit yourself. Don't judge yourself. Just write. Free flow, okay? And you might write statements like, money is hard to make. Money comes easily. Rich people are greedy. Rich people are generous. Money creates freedom. Money creates stress. Money creates opportunities. Money causes problems. Just write down everything that comes to mind. When the timer goes off, drop your pen and look at what you've written. And those thoughts are giving you clues about your relationship with money, what's in your subconscious about money. Now go through that list and put a plus sign next to beliefs that empower you and a minus sign next to beliefs that limit you. And then ask yourself one simple question. Where did this belief come from? Did it come from your parents? Your grandparents, a teacher, a church, a difficult experience, the news? Or did you arrive at that belief on your own? And then ask yourself if it's true. Is it really true? Like really true? Because most of our beliefs about money were handed to us long before we were old enough to even think about questioning them. And the goal isn't to become obsessed with money. If you have a messed up relationship with money, I want to help you accept the fact that you need it and having it is a good thing. And the actual goal is to become conscious of your relationship with money. Pay attention to how you feel when you pay your bills. Pay attention to how you feel when someone gets promoted, when someone becomes wealthy. Pay attention to your emotional reactions because those reactions are telling you a story. And if you don't like your current financial reality, that story may be worth examining because awareness always comes before change. You don't need to worship money. You don't need to chase it. You don't need to make money your identity. It needs to be completely separate from how you value yourself. But you do need to stop fighting with it, because it's very difficult to attract, earn, keep, or grow something you've spent your entire life resenting, and that's something worth thinking about. So I'll stop here. I welcome any and all questions, stories, whatever you want to drop in the comments. Please do so. And I appreciate you tuning in, and I'll see you next week.
The Thought Snob Podcast with Paula Swope has been brought to you by Thought Snob Media in association with Special Purpose Studios. All production, mixing, and sound engineering by me, Will Swope. We hope you've enjoyed this podcast. Please take a few seconds to give us 5 stars and leave a review. See you on the next Thought Snob Podcast with Paula Swope.